Happy New Year, everybody. I'm George, the Weather Dad, and we're going to be taking a look at your first weekend of 2026 and also the first week of 2026. Now, I know that some of you out there are golfers and you try to get a round in every month of the year, and it looks like you might be able to as we head on into next week, and I'll show you the day I think might be best for that. But first, let's take a look at your Friday, and what you're going to find here is pretty much cold temperatures across most of the country, including the Sunshine State of Florida. Now keep in mind they're going to be pretty close to normal, which puts them in the 70s, which is still pretty good if you ask me. And there's going to be some warm air around Texas, but here's the cold air. It's locked up across the northern half of the country and point towards the west. By Saturday, it doesn't change a whole lot. I mean, it does modify a little bit here in the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, but not much. Normal high temperatures, again, right around 40 degrees, and we'll continue to see that normal drop for another couple of weeks. By about mid-January is the coldest time for us here in the Midwest, and then we start inching that number up somewhat as we head on into the latter part of January. But you can see, again, pretty chilly across most of the country. Starting to warm up there for those of you down in Florida. By Sunday, we see a modification again, getting closer to normal right here in the Ohio Valley. Still, though, below normal, but a little bit chilly, but still not too bad. The real cold air, as you can see, is hanging up towards the north. Now, let's sneak into Wednesday of the middle of next week. Notice temperatures now back into the 40s, I think. So if you want to get that January round in, I think maybe Tuesday, Wednesday of next week might be the best days for you to do that with, and you can see some warmer temperatures there in the middle of the country. So that's going to be for Wednesday of next week. And now let's jump to next weekend, not this weekend, next Saturday, and you see a pretty divide. Got colder air up to the north, nice and warm air right here. And again, when I say warm air this time of year, it's all reference to normal. So we're looking at temperatures maybe in the 40s, maybe even sneaking into the 50s in portions of the Ohio Valley there, but very cold air up to the north. But looks like this is going to be the dividing line for some cold and possibly some strong thunderstorms. I'll show you that here in a minute. As far as precipitation is concerned, on Friday, not much going on. Some snow up in the northeast, but the west is where the action is really hanging on and taking place. This is on Saturday. You kind of see the west coast getting hit. Most of the country, though, pretty quiet. There's going to be a storm system moving across the southern half of the country, and I don't see any real snow at this point. There could be some light snow in Kentucky and Tennessee. We've got to keep an eye on that. Now, this is on your Saturday, and that's going to continue to push off towards the east. Now, it's also going to bring some rain down into Florida, and you do need it there. On Sunday, that pushes off. There's going to be some precipitation up in the northeast. This is more or less lake effect snows, but look where the action, again, hanging on out into the west coast. And California, this is your rainy season. This is when you need to pick up that rain and the snowpack up in the mountains, and it looks like you're going to be holding true to that. By next Wednesday, still pretty quiet, still more activity off to the west, pretty quiet right here. This is why I think if you want to get that round of golf in, or maybe even head off to one of the parks and take a walk, I think it's going to be that nice on Wednesday, and you'll see it there. There's going to be a mess of precipitation up into the northeast. Now look what happens here by next weekend. Remember I said there was a dividing line? Well, right now the GFS model is showing some pretty strong thunderstorms. We could be looking at severe weather if this holds true. And again, we're still well over a week away, and that could certainly change. But it looks like that's going to introduce possibly some very strong thunderstorms and some colder air as we work our way into next weekend. So it looks like the pattern is going to shift a little bit by next weekend, and that would be the indication of that. So basically, we're going to start off the new year on a cold note. And what else is new, right? We ended last year on a cold note, and that's going to continue for the next couple of days. I'm George, the Weather Dad.